Hello and welcome to Q&A, and as always I'm joined today by Coach Ash Morgan.
Is a longer rod with less weight out the front better than a shorter rod with more weight out the front? I guess we didn't fully touch on that, but essentially it kind of depends on the wind, I would say, is the only thing for that, doesn't
You
it?
got it in one. I was going to say
Yeah.
yes, apart from one thing that many compounders have is what they call a wind bar in their box. So they have a rod, maybe a 15-inch rod. So they're going to take off their 30-inch rod and put on a 15-inch rod with twice as much weight on. So they've ended up with a similar, not the same, but a similar balance, but that sheer mass weight in extreme wind. And I mean the type of wind that's going to knock 50 points off your score, but shooting that mid 600 is going to be enough to qualify you first at a World Cup. That's the type of thing we do. We just throw mass weight at your bow on extremely windy days, just because it makes it harder to be blown off. But yes, you're never going to shoot a 700 like this.
Yeah. I shot at the World Champs in 2013. Larry Godfrey even did that in the team rounds that we were shooting because it was horrifically, it was ridiculous. And yeah, even for a recurve, I think that did work quite well.
Dampeners, like the Doinker A-bomb, yes or no? Well, if we're coming at it from a compound point of view, absolutely. I love them. They're my number one choice of dampener. Recurves, some of the A-bombs are a little bit big, so you don't necessarily need something that stiff, but they're still a quality product if you're using a reasonable amount of weight. How do you feel there, Ash?
Absolutely, yeah. I can't remember the exact sizes of them. I always get confused with this, but like you say, the biggest one I almost never use on a recurve. I think it's the inch one.
And I think and that's the one with the 5/16 thread. So it's got the bigger thread on it, which is more commonly used by the compounds,
So often I would have the, I guess it's the 3/4, I think they call it or something, which is the A-bomb on the long rod because you've got enough weight on the long rod to actually like do something with it. Often I'd have that one on the long rod. For most people, for recurve at least, I kind of stay clear on the side rods because you're not going to have a lot of weight to do anything. So I try and get I forget whether it's called the dinky doinkers. Yeah, the dinky doinkers, I think. Pee-wee doinkers are the ones that go on the site. Dinky doinkers are the ones that go on the side rods.
I'll tell you a word for
that. They're very, very flexible. And they only need like a cap weight to do like a little bit of dampening.
Perfect.
So those are quite good on the side rods. One A-bomb on the front, but yeah, not that large one, like you said.
Yeah. The only other thing I'll come in there, or the common thing I see, especially with the compounders, because they're using more weight, they'll sometimes have too much weight after the A-bomb and not realize they should be splitting their weight in half and having half before the A-bomb and half after. My sort of quick rule of thumb is, while you're aiming and moving your bow around, just those slow movements should never cause the A-bomb to flex. So if you have like 10, 15, 20 ounces after the A-bomb, me just moving my bow like this, you'll see the A-bomb flex because there's just too much weight and the weight is overpowering. We only want that A-bomb to have any movement when you actually shoot. So all the other times you're moving, you're loading your bow, you're aiming, you should be zero flex in there. It should be stiff. It's only when you shoot where we want the A-bomb to work. Because sometimes I see this weight hanging off the front and that allows you to move while the weight stays still. So it's working in the opposite sort of way. So yeah, don't be afraid. You can put weight before the A-bomb and weight after, perfectly fine. But make sure there's no movement until you shoot. So adjustable V-bars, yes or no?
Interesting. So if you can, no. Because there's so many things that can go wrong on them. And it is great if you can just have one fixed piece of... I've won head-to-heads and progressed in competitions because my opponent's V-bar has come loose and broken. And I've been like, thanks, that's great. There's me with my solid... And they've been asking me for Allen keys. And I'm like, I haven't got any Allen keys. Like, sorry, but yeah. Yeah, I had them really, just hiding them away. But yeah, there's so many things that can go wrong on them. So if you can, don't have them. However, especially for compound, that's not realistic when you want a dropped side rod and all that kind of stuff. Some people with recurve as well. So if you have to, and you really want that for your setup, there's two things I'd say. It must be one with teeth so that it doesn't slide. and the teeth must be very strong because the teeth are great. But then also I've shot another head-to-head with someone that had a V-bar with teeth, and they had so much weight that it snapped the teeth, and then that was screwed.
Yeah.
And you need to mark where your angles are on the V-bar, so that if it comes
always
loose
get that silver pen out, get out your spin wing pen and draw a line on there. Yeah, you want to know instantly. If it does come undone, you want to be able to put it back without consulting your notebook, for sure.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know what your thoughts are on that as well.
Yeah, simple as best. I never, throughout my whole career as a recurve archer, I never had an adjustable one. Again, I feel like if you buy a fixed one and you buy yourself a big old bag of weights, you'll be able to find your balance point. You'll be able to find something that's good without constantly tweaking the rods in and out and things like that. So I don't think it's necessary. If you need a movable one, I had the Bee Stinger. I don't even know if they still make it. Again, big chunky teeth. It was reliable, but they're always going to be more prone to fatigue. And if you're shooting higher poundage with higher weight, you're almost more likely to break them. Fixed one is great. On the compound, there's a good selection of quality ones. I personally go for there's two that are made for Hoyt. One is a slightly lower price point, but I'll put them on the screen here. They're both great for going either at the bottom of your bow or for going up near the top rod, and they're adjustable because we do need to move a weight around more on the compounds.
And the tricky thing with that, I forgot to say, is if you have an adjustable V-bar, the issue with it is, especially for recurve, it puts a lot of weight where you don't really want the weight, and then it makes it hard to get the balance, doesn't it? So your overall weight setup ends up, you've got like another 100 grams or something from this V-bar, and then that means you need to put another 3 weights at the end and another 2 here. It kind of messes up that. Compound, less of a deal, I guess. Yeah. Less of a big deal.
I've had fancy ones to try and save weight. I had Win carbon ones. And after 2 years, it started to have these little cracks and errors appearing. So you really can't go wrong with just a solid aluminium one. You could argue that the cheapest one on the website is actually the most reliable. I mean, you can go a little bit more fancy and buy yourself a solid Eastern one or something. But yeah, a solid piece of aluminium, I can bet you that's never going to let you down.
Yeah.